Okay, Paul, you can open the meeting.
Well, I can open the meeting. Well, gee, thanks. I'm not sure who all we have there. I assume that Steve and Ari are there. I see Tove and I see you, Sally.
Right, and then I'll call the roll and we'll see who is here.
Okay, if you would, please.
Paul Coates,
Here.
Aaron Lyons, Jerry Snavely, Debbie Lowe, Tove Lesenby,
Present.
Brooke McCain, Paul Redmond, Cameron Yates, Sally Fahey, Marcia Blansett.
Yes, I'm on the line.
Thanks, Marcia.
Mhm.
So we have 4 and we need 5 for a quorum.
All right, so we do not have a quorum.
We do not have a quorum. But we'll go ahead and go through the agenda.
Okay, I think that sounds like a good idea. Now, I've kind of reviewed these things over quickly in terms of where we're at. Now, I had a chance to review the minutes from the February the 11th meeting. I saw no problem with them. Anybody else have any comments or input about those minutes? Hearing none, no objection. I'd say they're approved, right?
Well, we'll have to do them officially next meeting when we do have a quorum, but we can say at least that they are by consensus okay.
Okay, so at least by consensus and everybody that's here at the moment, they look okay. Wish I could read as fast as it's moving, I'll tell you that. So are we ready to go for traffic counts now?
I believe we are.
Okay,
Is
that's
Kim gonna
me, I
handle
think.
that? Or is Ari?
Yeah. So basically, we've split the counts this year into 2 portions because of the whole COVID thing. Initially, we had planned to do counts primarily focused on the CAFOs to find out what the traffic would be like, targeting those areas. But with COVID, traffic patterns have changed. So we decided to instead only take the non-CAFO counts during this COVID time right now, and then we'll take the CAFO relevant counts later this year. So the counts we've taken out of 64, we've taken 19. And those are primarily around the towns. Let me bring up the map here. The map. So all the blue dots you can see are the counts we took thus far this year. These are the non-CAFO ones. These are mostly relevant to town traffic. And I think we have some detail down here at the bottom. So we've collected all that data, reviewed it. It looks good. We'll have that on the web for everyone at some point here. And the plan going forward, since we still have these remaining counts, we'll do those in the fall. Hopefully traffic will have moved back to normal patterns, but there's only so much we can do. I will note that INDOT normally provides the adjustment factors we use based on the season. We take the counts, but INDOT has not provided us with any adjustment factors for COVID. So the numbers we have here may not reflect historical trends as well, but we still get the data for what happens during a pandemic at least. So it's still useful to us. We can compare these at least to previous years to see how much this has impacted traffic at the time we took the count. Let's see, I think I have, you can see when we took these in June. So compared to June of last year, the impact of COVID, we can at least track that. So let's see what else we have here for the counts. I think that's basically it.
I'll talk a minute about my negotiation with NDOT. Our grant year ends July 1st or June 30th. I pleaded with them that it would be almost useless for us to take counts at these CAFOs during COVID-19, especially when Packers was sort of off and on and the plant in Logansport was closed a lot of the time. So I have at least a verbal agreement that after we do our final billing for calendar year, or fiscal year 2020, which ended June 30, that they would amend our contract for fiscal year 2021 and add in the $150, or I'm sorry, $155 per count that we couldn't do in 2020 and add it to the 2021 grant. That would allow us to do the CAFO counts in the fall and all the regular 2021 counts, which are 65 counts in the spring. So in 2020, we would do the 19 that we already took. In 2021, in the fall, we would do the remainder of the 2020 counts. And in the spring of 2021, we would do all 65 2021 counts. So that's what I'm working on, and hopefully that's the way this will end up working out.
So preliminarily, NDOT has approved that idea.
Correct.
Good, thank you for your work. Now, my only question is, when you say fall of this year, do you have any approximate month or time? Are we going to do it during harvest or after harvest, or do you have a feel for that yet?
To a certain extent, we can have you help us determine the best time to do that.
Personally, I'd like to see it, near harvest time or right at harvest time, and get, that would include some extra counts there just with the harvesting. I think that would be good.
And that's the end of September, beginning and middle of October.
As a non-farm boy, even though I work in Carroll County, that sounds good. But if you want me to, I'll check more carefully and get a better date for you.
Okay.
So I should note real quick that we do have 46 counts to do. So that'll probably take us about 4 or 5 weeks to complete, given kind of our average expected rate of how quickly we get these done. So just might want to note that in our planning of all this.
Okay, good comment, Tim. Anyone else have any questions about the counts and where we're at with it or anything? All right, let's move on. I think that's pretty well on traffic counts. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, so we're ready for federal aid projects.
Yes, so this is kind of an ongoing item that we always have on the agenda. And since we kind of ran out of Stellar Communities funding, Carroll County has not had any federal aid projects. But we always like to check and make sure and see that or if there's anything in the pipeline that we might not know about, that you guys are considering performing some projects on that would be using some federal money. And I would also like to quickly take this opportunity to point out that we have the functional class map attached, and federal aid projects have to be on qualifying roads. And in order for a road to qualify, it has to be classified at least as a major collector or higher. So it's maybe a little hard to see the map on the screen, right now, but we do have it available. If anyone needs to look at that in the future, we can definitely get that to you. I believe it's also posted on our website. It was at one point.
It is on the NDOT website also, the functional classification map.
Okay, thank you, Marcia. Yeah, and so that was something, this has been officially approved by NDOT, so we're all good to go from that perspective. So yeah, is there anything you guys at Carroll County have that's in the pipeline that we might not know about, or do you have any questions about what might qualify for a project or anything along those lines?
I have no questions.
This was a question that actually came up at the February Administrative Committee meeting. I think Shane Evans and some others were unsure what roads actually qualified. So that's why we brought this up again, and you all didn't hear that conversation because it occurred at the Administrative Committee meeting. So that's why we thought it would be worthwhile reviewing it again and letting everybody know that if a road is at least a major collector, then it would be eligible for Group 4, right, Marcia? Group 4 funds in a competitive basis.
Yes. And bridges. The
And
county-
bridges, right.
County could do bridges.
Right. So then kind of going along with that,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Tim.
yeah, going along with that is item B on this, which is some federal aid application training. So there is a bit more of a process and some more kind of tracking and paperwork sorts of items that you have to do if you do apply for federal money. And then there's a quarterly tracking process that we go through where every quarter you guys submit a report and we review those at one of these meetings. And so that's something that we could certainly arrange for some training between you guys and NDOT and us if there is a need for that. So we just wanted to make it known that that offer is on the table. Even if that's not something you want to take advantage of right now, if something happens in the future where you do want to try one of these projects and you want some training, we can arrange for all that.
I had a question for Marcia. If we want to do a bridge, does the bridge project have to be on a major collector or higher status? I mean, any
No.
bridge anywhere is not eligible, or is it?
No, the bridges don't have to be on a functionally classified road.
Okay,
All the bridges,
thank you.
all the bridges are eligible.
Anyone else have any other questions or comments? Okay, who's going to explain our grant application? I had a quick overview of that real quick, and it looks similar to what we've done in the past, but maybe somebody ought to provide some details.
Yeah, we actually do have a couple of items in between that, Paul. NDOT projects update and NDOT 18-month letting list. Yeah.
Okay, excuse me. Go ahead, Tim.
Sure. Yeah, so I guess NDOT, first of all, do you guys have any updates on any of your projects that aren't going to be covered in the letting list?
Unfortunately, no, I do not.
Okay. All right, well, that's totally fine. I'll just hop into the letting list, and if something comes up, we'll just deal with it then.
Okay.
Okay, so in the packet, we have the letting list that we pulled off on August 4th. And so you'll notice at the bottom is kind of a little concentration of new projects. So they all are going to be let on December 8th of 2021. There are a few different contracts, but they all have that same letting date. They're all on state roads. And it looks like it's mostly bridge work that's going to be the new things. So there's a bridge replacement, 2 bridge replacements, a small structure replacement, small structure maintenance and repair, and a bridge deck overlay project. So all those, as of right now, are scheduled to let December 8th of 2021. and it looks like that'll be a good thing for the bridge network. Other than that, there are a few bid letting results. Looks like we had a couple projects that had results back in March. Interesting time. But yeah, so those were both on US 421, and they were awarded to milestone contractors. They were under engineer's estimate. So that's always good. We always like to see that. And that's estimate to be completed August 8th, which has already passed. So I'm not sure how the pandemic impacted that work or where that's at. I don't have any data on that. So I don't know, Marcia or Paul or anyone, if you guys have any info on those two projects on 421.
No, I don't. I don't know what's going on with them. I can check with Jackie if you need me to.
Yeah, I think it would probably be a good idea. I think it would probably be a good idea to check on it if we can, just since it was originally scheduled, on the system to be already completed, and I sort
Do you
of
have the DES numbers on those?
Yes, they are in the packet. So it's
I didn't get the
one.
packet.
Yeah, sure. I can read it for you.
Okay.
1701164.
Okay.
And then 1600507.
Okay. I'll check and then I'll shoot you an email.
Okay, thank you. We can then distribute that as needed to the committee.
Okay.
Paul, real quick, I'm sorry, Tim. The top one is that bridge deck overlay there, Radnor, correct? I'm asking Paul.
The top one of which one?
The bridge deck overlay over Sugar Creek. That's the one at Radnor, right?
Yeah, and that one's done.
That's done. Yeah.
Okay, so that first one's done. All right, that's good to know. Thank you for that update, Tobe.
Sure.
Okay, then
Tim, I had a question for you.
go ahead.
There you go.
Sure.
Back up, now you're down at the bottom, you've got State Road 75 at Wildcat Creek down on the bottom there with a 7820 bid letting. It says bridge replacement or other construction. But then if I go back up to the top a little bit, when I don't have the luxury of moving back up there a little bit, it looks like I can't remember, like the fourth one from the bottom. If you move up back to look at the bigger list, whoa, let's see. I thought I saw it, and let's see. And I didn't check and see if the number was the same. The 1,700-101, was that the same number as what's down below?
No, the one you were talking about down below with the July 8th letting is a 160 number.
Okay, all right. I thought maybe there's some confusion here in terms of there. I guess, is that the one right there at Cutler that they talked about, instead of replacing the bridge, was doing some modifications to it? Do you know anything on that? At 160-1029? Maybe
Are
my-
you
I
asking
don't.
me? Oh, okay.
Are you asking
Anybody?
anybody?
Yeah, I haven't heard any news on that one myself. So what we have is what's down there at the bottom is that both projects were not shown on the July 8th bid letting. That's the most recent information that we have. So that's the State Road 75 project that you just mentioned, Paul, as well as the State Road 22 project, small structure maintenance and repair. So we don't have information on either of those projects as far as what the bid letting results were.
Okay, so
So
what were
is
the
it-
DES numbers on them?
So they're on the screen if you can see
I
that.
don't have the screen. I'm not on the screen. It's not on
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that would be a problem. Okay, let's go ahead and read them then. All right, so 1601029.
Okay, that one moved to July of 22.
Okay,
Oh,
Goodness.
of 2022.
2022.
Okay.
all right. And then the other one is 1901564. 3.
Okay, hang on, let me pull it up here in the system. $19,01563.
Yep.
I'm not pulling anything up on that one. Hang on a second. Let me try something else here. Okay, that was a small structure on State
Yeah,
Road
small structure
22.
maintenance. Yep. Mhm. Yeah.
According to my system, that project has been eliminated.
Did it get combined in with something else, or what do you mean
It could
by
have been. Hang on, I'm seeing if there's any notes in it, because it could have been. Looks like it might have gone to another contract. 4, 2, 3, 5, 2. Hang on a second, let me see if I can pull the other contract.
We have an old contract number, if that helps, Marcia.
Hang on a second, I'm trying to pull up a new, do you have an old? Yeah, it's not pulling up. Right now it looks like it's been eliminated, but I don't know where it went. I don't have any note logs in here to tell me. So let me check with Jackie on that one and see what happened with it. And I'll put that in my email to you also.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, so where are we at now in terms of what we should be talking about?
We're on item 4C, the fiscal year 2021 grant and work items.
When we met in February, this was still in draft form and not submitted and not approved. And now what you have in the packet this time is the approved grant.
Yeah, so it looks very, very,
I'm sorry.
I was just going to say it looks very, very similar to what we've submitted in the past. We didn't do anything revolutionary. The main difference that you might see in this year as compared to last year is that we have added in some time for some crash analysis. We do that every 3 years for you guys to do a 3-year report, and this is year number 3. So we are slated to be putting something together for you in terms of that. So you will see some time in that under, I think it's 511C3. Yes. Yeah, so 511C.3, planning and support to INDOT Central Office and Districts. So if you look under that section, which is on page 4 of the grant, it talks a little bit about that there. So that's kind of the biggest thing that's different from last year, but it's not generally a new item. It's just an item that's not an every year item.
Okay, anybody have any questions about it? Well,
The only other comment I'd like to make, Paul, is that for the county auditor's purpose, on the last page with the financial summary, the Carroll County total obligation for this particular grant year is at $7,735.23.
No, that'd be fine. I'll print that off and I'll make sure Beth gets that.
Okay, great, thank you.
My comment was, I think we get a bargain for that kind of money in terms of what you folks do for us. So I'm very thankful and very appreciative.
Thank you.
Now, you guys, that's all executed, signed, and sealed and delivered then?
In terms of the amount,
No, in terms of the whole, basically, I mean, did you have to still submit something to INDOT for their approval, or are we all good to go?
well, the grant is initially filed with INDOT, has been approved, and it's in our contract for 2021. But if we go through with the additional Capo counts in the fall, we'll have to amend that contract to add in the amount of money not spent in fiscal year 20 and add it by amendment to the contract in fiscal year 2021.
Okay, so can you somehow maybe send me an email on that and tell me what that additional amount might be?
Well, I think the easiest way to do that is that money was already included in the Carroll County amount for fiscal year 2020. So if Carroll County pays the 2020 amount and then later pays the 2021 amount, it'll be a wash.
Okay, no, I understand that. Okay, that sounds good. I'm in agreement, ready to go. Like it. Thank
Okay.
you. Does anybody else have any other comments? And so next time we're going to meet is November the 10th.
Yes, and we'll leave it up to you, Paul, to let us know whether we can meet in person in Carroll County or whether we need to do a virtual meeting like this again.
Okay, I'll come first in November. We'll see where we're at and what's going on. How's that sound?
Right. It sounds just great.
Thank you very much. Anybody else have any other comments or questions they might have for Sally and the gang? We appreciate
Just in
everybody
case-
that has tuned in. I'm sorry. go
Just
ahead,
in
Sally.
case we have somebody watching on either YouTube or Facebook Live, we'll take a minute and see if there are any public, if there's any public out there that wants to speak.
Okay. Well, you're better off with the stuff than I am, I'll tell you that.
Tim, are we monitoring those two? Oh, okay. China said nothing has come in.
All right. Now, we don't have a quorum, so we just sign off and say goodbye and thanks to everybody.
Yes. Thank you.
All right.
You.
I appreciate everybody. Thanks for attending.
You
Have a
bet.
good
Thanks for your
day.
time.